warning. Your AC, heating, plumbing system, or an appliance will break down in your home, and they can be really expensive to repair. That's why you need Select Home Warranty. For less than $1 a day, you can be protected against unexpected repair costs that are not covered by your homeowner's insurance.
Having Select Home Warranty probably saved about $2,500 to $3,000 this past year.
You can place a claim 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We'll send a pre-screened local technician to fix the problem. And if for some reason we can't fix it, we'll replace it. With our advanced technology contractor network, when a covered system or appliance breaks down, we get there fast and fix it right, and you only pay a small service fee. And if you're one of the first 50 callers, we'll take $150 off your policy and give you 2 months of free coverage. We'll even include free roof coverage. With Select Home Warranty for less than $1 a day, we've got you covered. Call now.
1-800-213-2329.
Greetings, everyone. Hello. Greetings. Grand day for everybody. I pray that you all are having a wonderful evening on today. Welcome to Empowered Woman Worldwide TV Network podcast. That's right. Empowered Woman Worldwide TV Network podcast. We've been talking about the last few weeks about relationships, about dating, about being engaged, about being single and celibate, single and dating, engaged, marriage, divorced, relationships and relation slips. We've been talking about, if women cheat, and actually we were supposed to talk about tonight, do men cheat? But we actually are going to move that to the side because several of our guys had some other engagements that they could not break away from. Some of our guys that are typically on the Pay It Forward panel. So we won't be talking about that tonight, but we will be talking about dating from a woman's perspective and why we ask certain questions that we ask, and maybe what questions should we ask when we're dating, and where were some of those slips because we did not ask any of those questions when we were before we started dating or during the dating process. And maybe that's why that relationship didn't last too long. Maybe that's why it was such a huge relation slip. Okay. I know I've had many of those in my day. And so, I'm excited to be able to kind of chat with these beautiful women for just a few moments from the Pay It Forward panel. And we're hoping that you are going to also chime in, put some of your comments in the box. And those of you who were invited, if you pop in, we're going to let you from the green room on into the front stage here as we chat about dating on tonight. Dating. So I'm going to bring these sisters on. Yay. No men in the house on tonight. Hello there, Pastor Pearl. How are you?
Hello, I'm fine. How are you, Dr. A?
Hey, I'm doing great. Hey, Yaya, what's up? Good to see you too.
You too as well.
Awesome. Can you hear Yaya okay, Pastor Pearl?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Just want to make sure. So tonight we're going to be talking about dating, y'all, just a little bit. I know I've dated quite a bit in my adult life. And I know that you ladies have as well. And so I was really excited to have some of the fellas on tonight, but they weren't able to make it. They've got some previous engagements, and so they couldn't make it. And that's fine because we'll chat without them. And if they pop in, so be it. So we're going to ask those of you that are at home, if you're kind of lounging around with us on tonight, if you could also share in the comment section some of your perspectives on this topic. And we'll only be with you just for a few minutes, but we're hoping that there's something that is said that is going to change your outlook on things, maybe provoke some thought. Maybe you can share it with a sister girl or a brother man as they are in the dating phase and prayerfully they're hoping to one day be married. again. And so they can kind of go through some of these questions before they jump the broom, make the final commitment and get married. And it makes that whole transition a little bit better. And maybe it'll keep them unified and in a harmonious relationship for forever till death do they part. How about that? How about that? So let's chat about it. I got a couple of questions that came in. So I'm going to throw this question out there first. Is it okay with y'all ladies?
Oh, yes.
Okay. All right. So here's the first question I had. What are some, and I don't have my glasses. This is not good. Oh, well, we're going to give this a shot. You got any specs in here? Those look like prescription, honey. No. All right. So what are some questions that you need to ask when you are dating? That is the first question that came in. What are some questions that you need to ask when you are dating?
Well, some questions you need to ask, a fundamental question you need to ask is, what does that person see as the role of a woman and a man in a relationship? Because nowadays men and women work, that traditional woman staying at home and the men out working. So you need to ask that person, if you're a female and that person is a male, what do you see as the role of a male and female in the relationship, in a relationship?
That's a big one. That's a big one, Pastor Pearl, because depending on what that answer is, and I want to know what you all think online, our family online tonight. What do you think about that question? Because I'll tell you what I think while I'm waiting to see what you think. Is if I ask that question, I'm going to know if he, not saying I won't do it, but I'm going to know if he expects me to take out the garbage, if he expects me to mow the lawn, if he expects me to repair the cars and take them for all the oil changes, all the things that typically men do, but women say, hey, because I'm a womanist, women say, I can do it, but it's pretty cool if you do the dirty work, So I would know up front what he thought my role was. Would he, does he want me to stay at home? And cook and clean and do those things and not have a career or something for myself. I mean, a lot of times if you don't ask that, you don't find out until you're married.
That's true. And a lot of
you
women.
Said something earlier. You said traditionalist, I think you said.
Yeah, well, as we talk all the time, well, you and I are very busy ladies.
Thank you, Lord.
And
we're not complaining, God. We're not complaining.
Oh, yeah, I'm not complaining. So when you have a career, so if both of you have a career, you need to establish what your roles are going to be.
Yeah.
Because in those roles, if both of you are busy, what is going to be the job? Like you said, taking out the garbage. I dated a guy. He audited car dealerships, and so my mind is, women don't fix cars. He said,
but you can if you want to, girl. If you want to, you can do it.
Right, but I'm girly. You know what I mean? He was just sharing these. Said, Pearl, some women fix cars better than men. Now I'm girly. I've only had guys.
Right.
It's in my brain, in my mind.
Right.
Is the best person to fix a car, or
so he thought you were going to be fixing the car for him.
No. I'm just no. He's very alpha male.
Okay. Like, don't you touch this car. I got it.
No,
but that's why you want to ask that question.
Yes, I'm just saying the roles have changed. So some females are more masculine, or some females, they already, they do fix cars. You have females that do know how to change a tire and stuff like I don't.
So and let me say this. Let me dive in because I'm gonna keep diving in. Let me just say this. So for the womanist in the world, because I know somebody's gonna put that comment in the box, so I'm gonna stop you right there before you do it. Sometimes we look at it as less feminist when we are repairing a car. This can take us in a whole nother discussion. But as the womanist, sometimes you just want to show them that you can do it, and you don't have to necessarily be masculine, right? But you just want to show him that you can do it too. But it's also very important to know who just said that? Madeline said, I'm girly too. Yes. And you're right. And you know what? And listen, I don't want to get my fingernails, whether they're short or long, to get them all dirty either. So I kind of want to know what he wants me to do beforehand. So what other questions do we have? We don't want to stay on that one too long. What else? What you got, Yaya?
Well, I think you should start with the family background. That's not start with it, but that's a very important questions that you should ask about. Are your parents alcoholics? You know, do you come from, you know, drug addicts or, you know, any mental health disorders in your family or diabetes, any kind of issue?
Wow.
You know,
I mean, this is an interview. Yeah.
You know, do your parents have sickle cell? You know, that trait runs through the family, through the bloodline.
Right. You want to know the health.
Yeah.
The health history. I like that.
Ask some health questions. Yeah.
That's some good stuff, y'all. Ladies, I hope y'all writing this down. Men, I hope you're writing this down too, because I've never asked that question. And I've, you know, I'm over 50 and I've been in some relation slips where I didn't ask some questions I probably should have asked about the family medical history, about, like you said, if there was alcohol, you know, look, they could have asked me about mine. I would have said, yeah, I got my share of alcoholics in my family. You know, I would have told them the truth. But that's a great question.
That's interesting. Yeah, I never, that's a good thing to think of.
I mean, seriously, because wouldn't you want to know?
Yeah.
Yeah, because if you mix, you know, sickle cell with sickle cell, you know, you got the trait and your significant other has the trait, your child is going to end up having sickle cell.
It's very likely.
So you want to make sure there's no trait or anything there.
That is now. What'd you say, Pastor Pearl?
Then you would have to make a decision on having children if that is the case.
Exactly. You have to make a decision ahead of time.
I would just go ahead and ask that from the beginning. So
no, but she's saying then you have to make a decision then once you know that information if you want to move forward and have children. That's a great. And let me just say this. That is so great. That is awesome. But let me say this. You know what is that I would consider that, and let's kind of put these in categories. I would say that's more of a phase 2 question, right? Now after phase 1 questions, we can talk through that. Phase 2 questions is you're probably serious about this individual. You're thinking about getting married. You're thinking about a family, thinking about all those things. So those phase 2 health questions are probably coming to play. Because I don't know about y'all, but I don't know if I'm going to be answering those kind of health questions the first 3 months, first 6 months of dating. I'm like, why are you asking me all these questions about my? Well, I mean, now some questions you would. Those will be the phase 1, right? I think it's probably important to know if some alcoholics or somebody in the immediate family that might come knocking on your door at a certain time while you're trying to have a nice dinner or whatever, or some ex-wives or husbands that might be slightly psychotic. You just never know, or have mental illness or something that might show up while you're having dinner at the local restaurant. So you might want to know those things in phase 1. That's not funny, but that's real serious at phase 1.
But even that runs through the family as well.
Which part?
Alcohol.
Yeah, it does. It does.
It does, but it may be. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. We cut each other off because we got to keep this going. So go ahead.
So some things I think are phase 1 and phase 2 because, again, when you're going on a date, you're getting to know a person.
Yeah.
And certain things, right off the back, you're asking, which, some things you got to be forward about. But
right.
Some things may be a little bit like, what? Wait a minute. I ain't.
Right. I'm not answering that. Like, don't answer. What's your social security number? What's your cash app?
Right. So if you go in on a person before you getting, you also want to have fun. And you can enter things sometimes in having fun with intention. But when you just too serious and so you are alcoholic, those things, yes, you're right, need to be asked. But in a series, like, for example, phase 1. So Do you have children? Have you ever been married? Like conversations.
What is your relationship like with your ex, your baby mama, your baby daddy? What's your relationship like? I mean, these are great conversations to have over dinner. Okay. Excuse me, lunch. So phase one, let me just make a recommendation based on some of my relation slips. I wouldn't have done dinner first. That's just me. Like I did a whole lot of dinner dates back when I was dating. Big bad mistake. Let me tell you why. I would like to think that I was just not good choosing men, maybe, or I wasn't allowed God to choose them for me during that dating phase or something. But it always got a little extra if I went to dinner. Okay, so I would always, first of all, let's go back a little bit. I would recommend in phase one that you consider lunch dates. And it don't always have to be on Monday through Friday. It can be on the weekends, right? But consider brunch or lunch, because sometimes the evening, and depending on where you are in your life, sister, I'm just saying, you might, decide to have a glass of wine. You might decide to go dancing. Then you allow emotions get in the way and feelings versus, really having a level head. Sometimes we are emotional beings as women. So just as a recommendation, kind of stick to lunch and brunch. That's just based on what I did. That was some relation slips. Okay. I don't want that. I wouldn't have wanted that pressure. I didn't want it, but I allowed myself to be in that predicament. Now let's go back forward. I'm sorry. So I have a question for you. Why would you ask them, what was the biggest lesson from your worst breakup? Why would you ask that question to a guy? What was the biggest lesson from your worst breakup?
You would ask that particular question to get some insight into what happened in that relationship, and has that person moved forward, in terms of the lesson you learned. For example, one thing we all got to learn, because we all got relation slips. We've all had bad relationships. Most of us have in the past. And the one thing you learned is you got to know the difference. For example, as a woman, particularly, I'm a ministry, you got to know the difference between good eye candy, it's good looking chocolate. You look good in fantasy.
Right. But do you look good spiritually?
Now, and don't get me wrong, sisters, don't get me wrong. Everybody everybody has different taste buds.
That's right.
So we appreciate you, brothers.
That's so true.
Don't get me wrong. But so when you were talking about brunch and lunch, it's very important to get to know someone outside of good eye candy, meaning this person look good. They what you like physically.
Right.
But as women, we're emotional, and a lot of times we can't get away with the same things men get away with. For example, everybody want to be loved a certain way. Men can say, they went with this person, that person, or they like things this way and that way intimately.
Right. Girl, you don't go back to my question.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
You know how me and you talk.
That's right. You go. I'm sorry.
We've been a whole nother podcast. Look, me and you. Look, just the other day, you were like, Denise, come on back, girl. Come on back. I was like, I'm sorry, Pastor Pearl. I'm sorry. So look, let's go back to that. Let's go back. So let's go back. You're on the track. I saw you on this track with that question, though, that worst breakup. You said something about, because we want to find out what happened.
Right.
I have a question for y'all, both of y'all. I see your face over there, y'all. You want to find out what happened? I know, because I know what you're about to say. I already know. I'm reading your mind. But here's what I'm going to ask you about that question. Okay, what was the lesson they learned from the worst breakup they had? What else are y'all looking at when y'all ask that question or listening to? What else are y'all, when y'all, okay, she said, I want to know what happened. I'm asking both of y'all, in addition to knowing what happened, when they're explaining to you what happened, or what was the lesson they learned from the worst breakup? That's a dating question. What else are y'all looking at or listening to when they're talking about it?
So let me go back, because when we ask that question, what happened and what did you learn from it? That is one-sided.
Oh, okay.
That's only what his perception that he's gonna tell you.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know what really happened.
Mm-hmm.
And we really don't know if he learned from it. So it's kind of null and void for me to ask that question. And in my experience, asking that question to a guy, he's not going to be honest with you.
Okay, so let me dive in. Let me go ahead and dive in on that one. Okay, Pastor Pearl, what I was going to say is that and this is based on my relation
And
slips.
It's a good question.
Right.
But I don't think that they are going to come to terms with it.
Okay.
Unless they are
You don't
maturing.
think they're gonna be 100 on it? Which
Right, they ain't gonna be 100. Okay, but
They have to really be mature enough in their adulthood,
Okay.
their manhood to do that.
okay, and we can flip it around on us. We might not be either, to tell the truth. But let me just say something. I see what you're saying, sister. If it is always somebody else's fault. Thank you. That's what I was about to hit to. That's right, Madeline. Woo! So that's what I'm saying. Madeline, you own it, girl. So what I was going to say is that the reason why we want to ask those types of questions also goes back to what somebody put in the comments a minute ago, is the personality questions. Because I believe, now that I've had a lot of relation slips in my life, I want to see how he gonna respond. What is his eye twitching? Is he looking up and looking right? Is he stuttering through how he's gonna explain it? And I'm gonna ask him, if she was here, what would she say? What would she have learned? I really want to get to the nitty-gritty of that, because when you layer questions with people, not just men, also with women. So this for both of y'all, okay? Both of us is layer the questions and see how they respond. What happened then? Well, I'm just curious. Oh, that's interesting. You could write a book about that. Listen, now that I'm married and been through a whole bunch of relation slips, I would even ask more layering questions and watch their response. Because listen, I think Madeline hit on it the nail on the head, and so did you, Pastor Pearl, and so did you, sis, is that you never know what the truth is, because it's only one side, okay? And if he gets angry while he's explaining, and she, once they show you who they are, you never know. I'm just saying.
As opposed to saying we both.
Right.
We both messed up.
Right.
Then you see a person who's more open to, they see where there's a need of change.
Right.
Themselves, not
Thank
just
you.
another person.
Thank you. And this is all about, again, I want to recenter this, because I've gotten a lot of flack from people who try to be so holy they're no earthly good. I've gotten a lot of flack because they want me to have Bible studies every time on the podcast. And I have Bible studies at Hope on Wednesdays at the amazing churches I serve at Mount Welcome Missionary Baptist Church. I have prayer calls during the week, and I also have, a whole bunch of conversations with individuals as we are praying together and studying together. That is not this forum right here, but we hope that the characteristics, the character traits of Jesus that we're going to try to exhibit when we're having, discussions with people, and really opening our ears and our eyes, so that prayerfully we will have longer relationships with the right individuals, right? That's what this podcast is about.
And
all right.
So we have,
just had to get that off my chest.
Absolutely. And you're dealing with new things. This is a new generation. This is a new time.
Yeah. Before I throw the Bible at them, I probably should talk about it real talk. I mean, it's real. This is real stuff that we're going through, and people don't ask these questions in the dating phase. They let people drag them into wanting to give up their bodies, and that's all they really wanted at the beginning. And they're never thinking about marriage. You don't know if they're psycho. You don't know if they're repeated felons. You don't know if you just don't know so these questions are critically important, and it's more than just the surface level. If I may educate us a little bit, as I've learned from a lot of mistakes, is more than just the surface level of that answer. It's how they answer it. It's I've asked questions of people and they just break out in a cold sweat when I'm asking questions. I mean, that's something to think about. Was it hot in the room, or were they nervous about it, or were they lying? It's like a lot. You got to really, and you go on more dates, right?
Mhm.
To ask more questions. Yeah. Right? Because you're exchanging energy with people that you don't know. You just met them in the grocery store, at the gas station, at the church, at a meeting, wherever you met them, doesn't necessarily mean they're your next boo thing. And as women, we get caught up in that, don't we? I know we do.
Yeah.
They just realize.
I always said, one of the problems that people are dealing with now is that it's not like before. I stated, my parents been married for so long. People are not even getting married now until some people in their 50s and some people in their 60s first
Wow.
time. This generation in this time. And so you have people who are waiting long periods of time before they marry that significant other. So what that means, to keep it 100, when everybody makes mistakes. And so because of that, you have to live and you have to learn.
Wow.
And based on who you are, I know people who have been through some stuff, been through incest, rape. And I know a particular person from, a certain age, they've always had a man. And so they're at an age of intimacy with a man. And so it's very difficult when intimacy,
right.
She says, if you notice, now, I mean, I don't necessarily agree with this, but it's an interesting perspective. She says, you notice that the Bible said it's not good for man to be alone. It didn't
say That's funny. Wow.
So the reason why she said that, because women more, I'm not saying on average,
right,
control their sexual appetite more so than men in a general sense.
And so those questions tend to not get asked or answered, and we tend to rush through things or allow ourselves to be rushed through things because it's all physical versus mental, or it's all physical and emotional, to your point, versus spiritual, mental, all those tolls. Okay.
And it's very important for a woman to
I got a few more questions. Go ahead.
It's very important for us as women to understand, to know that men think totally different than us about
They
sex.
do.
So,
Totally different. Yeah. What were you about to say? Totally different. She's right. She's right. She's totally right. They do.
They don't like all these questions.
They don't. Right. And we cannot let go, y'all. Hold on. Women, hold on. You ask them questions now. You get your list. In fact, I'd say take a book with you. Just start, just going through the pages of your questions. Look, and take notes. If they don't like it, close your book. I'm known for closing my book on meetings. If he wants to date you, let me just. Wait a minute.
It's really interested. He'll ask questions back.
Right. If he's right,
it's
I
not
love
going to
that.
be one-sided.
Right. It won't be one-sided. And let me just say this too. My husband told me something, and I wish he had told me this. I wish I had heard this when my kids were younger, but it also supports me and help in supporting other, millennials, young people, everything. But I'm going to say this, men, y'all might get mad at me, but it's the truth. Men can be very patient when it comes to getting what they want.
Oh yeah,
they'll wait it out, and they will wait it out.
Oh yeah.
They will wait it out. Don't get it twisted. They will wait it out. So you got to wait it out. You wait it out till you get married, wait it out. I'm just saying, I've been there, done that, made a whole bunch of mistakes on that, and wish I had waited out sometimes in my life, okay? And I'm going to say this, my husband was right when he said the ultimate goal for a man is to get X, Y, and Z, okay? He went through that. Now, he said, so they will be patient, they will wait it out, they'll answer your questions, they'll jump through hoops, but you as a woman have to be vigilant. He said, you have to pay attention. Our women have to pay attention because he said, we tell y'all, but y'all don't pay attention. He said, because we can't keep that mask on for long. Okay. All right. We can't keep the full mask on for long. All right. So I just want to throw that out there. But let me get to, because that's a whole nother podcast. So we just got a few more minutes. I got a couple other questions I can ask y'all. Is that okay?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. How about this one? How do you hide anger? Now, this is a tricky one. How do you hide anger when you don't want it to show? And how do you express anger? Do you think that's a good question to ask? How do you express anger? Would you ask that to him in a dating phase one? And how do you hide anger when you don't want it to show?
I think I'd ask the latter. How do you express anger when you're angry? Because it's a two-part question. I mean, I'm just saying the latter part of the question. How do you handle a situation when you're angry?
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? That's very important to know. You know, do a person get ready to ball up their fists and punch somebody? Or,
they gonna tell you too, because they're so, men, they're like, I'm gonna tell, most men are going, depending on what they think you like. Would you agree? Like they might think you wanna, or you wanna.
No, I mean,
what do you think?
That's a valid question, and that's all of those things you want to ask. Do you own a gun? Are you quick to pick up your gun?
Do you take it everywhere with you?
What would you do? I love scenario questions.
Yeah.
What would you do if, somebody came up to us and said,
excellent, yeah,
this, and that? What would you do? 6-foot man came up to us and said, hey, you're
don't. She about to say it. Oh my gosh, passive person.
Okay, so let's just say a 6-foot man came up to y'all and said, "Yo, BITCH." Oh, she fly.
She spelled it. She's what?
She's fly.
She fine. What you gonna do?
What are you gonna do?
That's a good question.
Are you gonna fight the man? You gonna punch him in the face? Or you gonna say, "Honey, let's go"? What? And that's scenario question.
That's real talk. That's real talk. Scenario questions.
So I'm going to give you an example.
Question.
Yeah,
go ahead.
So I'm going to be transparent and give you an example from the past. So I was dating someone. They were going through some issues on their job. So how he said, Pearl, men have to walk away, because if two men get into, talking or whatever, and get into a masculine thing, they're going to start going to blows.
Okay.
So he told me men have to walk away because they're raised differently.
So, and you heard that, and you were like, okay, this is
well, I've been with him for a while. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So
okay.
We were always good with communication.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Love it. Wow. So that would be a good question to ask, and I like that answer. I mean, I prefer.
Yeah. Now, but I'm talking about it.
Yeah. So there was some other things that probably weren't right, but at least you'll walk away from them. Okay, so I got another one. What about this one? Would you ask this in phase one? What is your dream vacation?
Yeah, that's just fun talk.
Do you like to travel? Where would you like to go? What's your favorite place you've been to? Those are valid questions.
Those are valid questions. And I've never asked that question before, but it's a very valid question, because there was someone that I ended up marrying that was a house hermit. He didn't want to go anywhere, do anything.
Right.
And I always wanted to go places. Yeah, but had I had asked that before I got married,
That's why a lot of women or men end up doing girl trips or men trips.
Yeah, that's a good thing. Yeah.
And I bet you they married them with the intent of going on trips with them. Would you think?
Right, but see now, like Yaya is saying, a lot of women, even though they're married, they do girl trips together, and men do men trips together, and that's popular. And another thing, some couples I know do marriage trips together, where they
couples trips.
Couples trips.
And that's probably a question to ask too when you're dating.
I think it's healthy to do both.
Yeah,
absolutely. You do the girl trip. You don't do single girl things.
That's a whole nother podcast. You better take us there.
Take a vacation away
No,
from your husband.
that's a whole nother
Nothing wrong with
podcast.
that.
That's a whole nother
Nothing
podcast.
wrong with that.
Madeline has a good question.
I don't see her question.
She's asking, which is great, Madeline.
Oh, right.
You want to know a situation, you know?
Oh, here it is. I'd want to know a situation he has been in. Sorry, Madeline, I didn't see that, sister. Oh, my glasses, sorry. I'd want to know a situation he has been in and how it was dealt with. Okay, she's basically echoing with what the question was. Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. She'd want to know that. You know, and I do want to just remind us as women, you know, we stronger together, right? You know, we got, you know, it's to look at how they respond and look at how they respond. And this is one of the classes that I teach on my Unapologetically Women series on our website is body language, language. And there's some emotional intelligence skills basic that we can have, y'all, that will just, you know, you can use in that level 1 and level 2. That's a whole nother podcast. Well, actually just go to the website, empoweryourpower.com/unapologetically women, and you'll see all the sessions that I teach and support or facilitate, I should say. But you got to watch their expressions when they are telling the truth about something basic like their favorite color and how they respond to those complex layered questions that you're going to ask. And as women, we have a high level of discernment that a lot of times we don't tap into. So when you're asking these questions, tap into that discernment that God has given you as a woman. I'm speaking to the women now. And that way you can really pay attention to what's truth, because you really know you can't, you know, listen, trust is earned. Right? Trust is earned. Mama, what's happening, sister?
Hello. How are you?
Hello.
Good. How you be?
He's good. And you?
I'm fabulous. I'm so glad you could join us. Yama, meet Pastor Pearl and Yaya.
Hey,
Hello. I am so sorry. I just got finished doing a live and signing up a client, so I'm all over the place. So forgive me for being on late.
They both sound great. Next time you're on there, let me know so I can make sure I support you. Okay.
Thank you, beautiful. Thank you so much.
You are welcome. So Yama, we actually coming in really swiftly to a close. We're talking about dating. So I'd love to get your perspective on dating, questions that you ask, phase 1 questions and phase 2 questions. Are there any questions that you would recommend or throw out there that we should ask in the dating phase?
You know, I think the questions start with you first. Because how can you know what you're looking for if you don't know what you want?
Ha!
Oh, you know that's true.
So when you encounter, I believe now this is just me.
Come on,
when you encounter what you're looking for, you kind of know it, right? And there's a thing called that I consider floetry, and it just flows.
I love it.
So it's nothing that you have to like make a list of or whatever. I think that comes before you even start dating. I really believe to know yourself is to be able to know your mate when you meet your mate. That's just how that's what I believe.
And hey, look, that's how she is. I hear you. And I'm gonna tell you something real quick. Yeah, I see your hand. I'm gonna tell you something real quick, or throw something in there. So when we were talking last week, Yama, we were talking about how self-awareness, or week before last, I think I get them all twisted, but how self-awareness is critically key, having a dating vision, having a marriage vision, like really knowing that stuff up front. So I love what you said, because a lot of us don't go into dating or go into marriage with any type of vision of what that relationship should look like, and who are we, and what do we want, and what won't we compromise with, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah, but I do believe in making a list now that I don't have to do that right now, because I pray I'm to death do us part, my husband.
Exactly.
I had a list with my husband. So
yes. And I do believe that, honestly, because you can ask whatever you will, but that doesn't mean that the questions are going to be answered properly. So I think when you I hate to say it this way, but it is kind of when you try to spirit by the spirit, that's when you get your answer.
Come on.
Because you kind of already know what you're going into looking for. So it's not a surprise. You've already put it out there and settled in your mind what lines you will not allow to be crossed for you. And just because someone's don't mean they walk it, but baby, when you watch how somebody walk, that'll be the answers to your question.
Come on. Watching it walk. Hold up. Yaya wanted to say something real quick because y'all can't see her. So let me go ahead.
So part of knowing who you are and knowing what you want is somebody typed it in the chat.
They did.
Personality. It's knowing what your personality type is, and when you see your match or the person who you want to date or whatever, you'll know, okay, is this a good match for me? And maybe y'all should take a personality test together.
That's way outside the box.
That way you'll have all the answers. He'll know who you are.
He gonna be like, no, I ain't going to take no.
You'll know who you're dealing with. You know, you'll learn communication style. You'll learn so much just by taking a personality test.
Yeah.
And we need to do more of that.
Yeah. I mean, you're giving them your time. You should consider it. I'm real quick. I'll pass to Pearl, then I'm going to answer this question here at the bottom.
Oh, that's what I was looking at too.
Okay. So I got an example about this. And Yama, why we can't see your face? What's up?
Hold on, I'm gonna let you see my face. Hold on just a minute.
I said Yama, not Yaya. We know you behind this pretty picture. But
okay, so
there she is.
Hello, everyone.
Hey there.
Hello.
Our sister Madeline has a really good question, and I've got an example of that, a really high-level example I want to share, and then we're going to close out in the next less than 5 minutes. So if you can kind of keep me honest here. So her question is, would you talk about religious beliefs? Now, I want to hear what y'all have to say. I have an example of this, though. There's a lot of individuals that we coach when you're in ministry, as many of you know, because you're in ministry too, and a coach or spiritually counsel. And so I know of a couple right now where one is Muslim and one is Christian, and they've been managing for a long time. But there's some major decisions that have happened now that they have to make. And it's very challenging because they walk two different faiths. And it wasn't anything they talked about prior to getting married. They didn't think they'd have some major opportunities in their relationship. And now they do. So I do recommend, and some of you are probably going, well, yeah, sure, Denise, we figured that out. That's like putting on deodorant. We know we got to do it. But a lot of people don't, or you'll stink. But a lot of people don't talk about those types of issues. They think, okay, love conquers all, which it does. You got to still use some, you got to use some sense here, because some things you do, love is not going to conquer. You go kill somebody, come on now. We just have to be realistic. So those types of things do need to be talked about. What happens if our children are going to get married? Okay, are we going to want them to have a Muslim marriage or a Christian marriage? I mean, seriously, when they go off to school, do we want them to go to a Muslim school or Christian school? Or does it matter what school? And those things can break up a family. 2 words. Equally yoked. That's 2 words. Must be. That's a discussion that has to happen. What's your thought on that, Yama? And then I'm going to go to Pastor Pearl.
It's clear as mud to me. You have to be equally yoked. If you're not, having been married twice, if you're not equally yoked, there are definitely going to be some unsolid days, a lot more than you probably, because it's like, it's not even an iron sharpeneth iron thing anymore, right? Mm-hmm. It's 2 separate mindsets trying to forge into one, and religion, and I hate to say it like religion, but beliefs are deeply rooted.
Yeah.
And they can conquer compromise.
Yeah. Wow. They can conquer compromise. Whoa. That is very true.
So being equally yoked really is definitely where you want to be.
Yeah.
You want to be equally yoked.
Yeah. Pastor Pearl, what you got for us? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, this one hits home because, like she's saying, you got to be equally yoked, because I was with someone who was not of my faith. We had an amazing relationship, but we were two different faiths, and I just couldn't. You understand what I'm saying? I couldn't. God wouldn't let me. It was different perspectives, different points of view, and I'm not gonna lie. I said, "This ain't fair, God." Because that saying, if loving you is wrong, I don't want to be right.
I don't want to be right.
But I know how God deal with you. If you don't deal with something,
I like that. If loving you is wrong, I don't want to be right.
we were compatible on so many fronts, but me being people don't realize when you are assigned as a pastor or leader or whatever, it's a call that's really serious. Not that you can't be yourself, laugh, joke, go to the movies, things like. It's a serious call because you're dealing with divine destiny, your life assignment and mission. And so, if you're with someone of a different faith, for example, if you believe in somebody, you believe nonviolence and they believe in an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth.
Right.
Or
that's real talk.
And I know a lot of people who've done it. I'm from New York, and I have a lot of friends. I have a girlfriend who's married to a Jamaican Jew. And I have a lot of people who intermarry.
Wow.
It just, it's a difference because she has to keep.
It's going to take a lot of work.
And
it's going to take a lot of work. You have to decide if you want to do that, right? Wow.
But
so let's move on. Huh? Because what?
No, I said, so it's a big decision when you are going outside your faith. And that's
it's huge.
Question.
It's huge. It's huge. It is huge. You got a comment before we go on?
So I want to.
We cut people off here, by the way, because I have to keep going through.
I want to define dating.
We should have did that 45 minutes ago.
I know, but I'm just thinking about it. Exactly what is dating to us and what is dating to men?
That's an interesting point.
We would have to have a man on the show for that.
Yeah, and they all, as usual. I'm just saying, they keep on saying they're gonna be here, and then all of a sudden you forgot about the women in your life. Need to be helping you with them calendars if you can't keep up with them. I'm just saying, you help your man with them calendars, because when you make a commitment, you need to stay true to your commitment. That just made me think about that joke. What was that prank phone call? If you're gonna donate, you said you was gonna donate. You need to donate. So anyway, yeah. So Rick and Smiley, yeah. Shout out. So if we had them on here, they could, kind of. I would really love them in, and I know they're going to be here next week. I'm just giving them a hard time. Peace out. Love you. And so when they get here, we can ask that question. But I do want to go ahead and, since you threw it out there, we don't want to ignore it. Ladies, what is your thought on that as it relates? What is your definition of what is true dating? If you can make it very brief for me. What do you consider dating? What is the definition of dating? Make it brief, somebody.
Okay, well, I'll go. So dating to me is going out on dates. Key word. Not coming over your house to watch TV, or him coming over your house to watch TV. Going out.
What if he asks to come mow your lawn?
It could be. That's not a date. That's a
I'm
service.
Just saying.
That's a service. Going out on a date. Going to the park, going on a picnic, going to a restaurant, going to the movies.
Okay,
the beach.
We get it. Got it.
Those are dates.
That makes sense. Those are dates.
And going to get coffee,
Got it.
Or dessert, or a whole meal.
What is your thought, Pastor Pearl? What's the date for
I'm
you?
Sorry, I thought that it was. It's going out, getting to know a person. Having fun together, dating, getting to know a person for a purpose. And it could be intention. Some people just date to go out, and some people date with an intention. intention of getting married or getting to know you better, so we can have a relationship in the long run.
So it's going out, getting to know somebody, so it's okay to ask them questions, y'all. Y'all better be asking all them questions and write them down too. I don't give a darn. I say you take your tablet and your pen and you get to writing and erasing. Okay, we got that one. We got that one.
Oh, look at Madeline's. Oh my goodness, look at that question.
Okay, what's the answer for you, Yama? What do you think?
I would say getting to know someone, but then that's forever. I mean, just because you're married doesn't mean you stop getting to know someone. So
love it. I love that. Just because you're married doesn't mean. So dating is for single and dating is for married.
Yes.
Yeah, I know couples who have
dating
get to know.
You date someone to find out if you want to marry them.
Right, but you continue to date them to just continue to keep that fire going, and you, like she said, I agree with that. You continue to learn more about them, and like I'm just now learning my husband has a sense of humor. Like
that's a good point.
I didn't know that at first. Thought he was all God and he didn't want to laugh at nothing. Everything was serious, and I was okay with that. But he has a sense of humor. So dating and marriage, I think, is good. I like that.
So should we change it to courting?
That's, that's a whole nother podcast. Oh my God. Why do y'all, God help us, please? Why y'all, you and Pastor Pearl gonna have us, we'll have 5, we're never gonna close this thing down. People are not gonna watch because y'all gonna want to have 10,000, you, her, this lady. No, stop. No. I love y'all. These sisters are so bold and so brilliant and so bright and so wise. I know what they're doing. They're going to take me down this rabbit hole and they know me in my mouth. And we'll be on 5 more subjects. We will never close. And then I got to listen to everybody and these messages I be getting. And they forget I ain't always had this preacher collar around my neck. And they be coming at me with stuff. And I ain't trying to hear that today. So we're going to stick with this topic right here. And we about to slide on up out of this topic right here. But first, Madeline, we write that down for next week or week after next. Madeline said, men date to conquer. I ain't scared, y'all. I'm just saying, I'm just putting it out there. So y'all, Pastor Pearl will put a Vaseline on her face so the punches will roll off. Anybody bother me, I already know that. So will Yama and so will Yaya. But she said, men date to conquer and women date to find security. Wow.
I don't know what you mean by conquer.
Madeline, could you explain that conquer word, please? Because Alicia said true. And I don't know if she's saying true to us or she's saying true to you. So what do you mean by conquer? I want to know your definition of that. What you got, Pastor Pearl, while she's typing?
Well, what I think she mean by conquer is, okay, I got the prize. Women are looking for security.
I understand that part.
And if I got that and you got my back, am I coming somewhere where I know a man that can hang and handle it? So even if we're paying the bills
commitment. Right. We're looking for unity, commitment, and we're looking to settle down. But I think we might all think what she means. I agree with Yaya to for sure know what she truly means about conquer. Like, is she talking about something specifically on the conquer in their dating? Okay, Madeline, if you hear us, if you can type that in real quick, and we're gonna close this thing out. Oh, there she is. She said, I love it. Thank you for explaining, my sister. She said it could be anything. Conquer. They might be trying to conquer sex, to have sex with you. It might be the best looking female in the room. That is so true. They want to conquer by getting the boss. That's happened to me before. Marry the boss.
Wow.
I can agree with that.
That's big. I can agree with that too.
Madeline, you doing it up tonight?
Madeline, you ain't playing, sister.
She gonna have to be
girl power. I mean, like, for real, because we got to know this stuff. Girl power, right? We got to know this stuff, and I'm gonna say manpower too. Yeah, y'all got to know it too, because the whole goal is to have longer relationships that last, your mind is open, heart's open, everything, you got it together, right? You know, we're all, Alicia said, I agree.
Yeah.
So yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I'm gonna go around the horn. I'm gonna 30 seconds for real. So I don't, real seriously, 30 seconds, Pastor Pearl, don't laugh. 30 seconds. Just give us some closing comments. We're talking about dating on tonight. Next week, we will be talking about, do men cheat? And if the men don't show up on this one, on this panel next week, when we talk about this, I don't want to hear about it. Just talk to the hand. Okay. We're going to talk about, do men cheat? How do you know what statistics say, what the focus groups say that we've met with? What do they say of how do you know that men are cheating? How do we get around that? How do we stop it? How do we prevent it? I should say, how do we prevent, not stop? Because once it happens, we're done. Just saying. But how do we prevent it? What are some measures that we can do to be in the front of, not allowing our emotions, physical and all that get in the way, and we end up doing something that we'll forever regret in a relationship. Okay. So that's what we'll be talking about next week by God's grace. So now I want to give you 30 seconds to kind of go around the horn since we're talking about dating and give a final thought. Remember, as we're striving to have better dating, a better dating environment, conversations, and then we can make decisions faster, whether we're going to keep going to the second phase or not. So what are your comments? Yeah. We'll start with you.
Okay. Ask questions. Be respectful with the questions, though. Ask questions, definitely.
Don't have no attitude.
And date, go out on dates, and you will.
How many dates should you go on?
As many as you can. You would observe a lot of things about a person, about when they're out and about. You get to know how they socialize. You get to see how they interact with others. They pay the bill. Their financial. You get to see so many things about people when you go out in public.
Mm-hmm.
And, so just in addition to behind.
Wow.
So ask questions.
Definitely
go out on dates and observe.
All right. What you got? Pastor Pearl.
Yeah, I'm going to say this as a old church mother told me. She said, let me tell you something, honey. When you're going out dating somebody, don't look at the good, honey. Look at the bad. Because the bad is what you're going to have to live with, which I found that to be true. Think about it.
I can see
him too. She did that. You might need to be in acting. Like, are you in acting? You're in that industry. Oh my gosh.
But no, mother used to look at me. Old school mother used to look at me, and she would say, I don't want no man because I'm gonna be in that Pokemon sign, and he gonna want to do something else. He gonna put me out of there. But
I have too much of a vision.
Mother gave that advice, which think about it. She said the good you can live with. When you date somebody, it's the bad you have to look at. Their bad habits. Because think about it, some things are pet peeves. That's another question to ask. So, but we're not going to get into that. That's my final thought.
Wow.
Look at the bad, because the good you can live with.
Wow. And I like that. That's very good advice. And don't y'all turn it around.
No,
look at what she's truly saying. She's not saying point out their bad. Right. She's saying just be observant of it so you know what you're willing to deal with or not for the rest of your life. I mean, I like that. That's some great advice. Observe. Yeah, that's right. Thank you, Pastor Pearl. Observation. Yama, what you got, sis?
You know what? It's been so. First of all, I want to thank you for inviting me to this. This is awesome. Ladies are amazing.
You are too, sis.
Super amazing. I haven't dated in so long, but I get to learn me because I was dating a miss. So I was wasting not just my time, but somebody else's time.
Wow.
So learning myself before I'm putting myself out there to date, to kind of know what I do want and what I don't want.
Yeah.
definitely necessary. So if I have anything to add, that would be that.
Wow. No, finding out about yourself, because you said something. She said, I was dating a miss. Is that what you said?
Yes.
Wow. So she had to go time out.
Yeah.
We all been there. Oh yeah. You know, whether we said time out or God said, I'm finna put you in time out. You know this. I done sent you a whole bunch of boo things for my glory, and you done messed them up.
Yes. 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 Yes.
Wow. Well, ladies, this has been fabulous. I just want you to know, I just look forward to Friday nights and hanging out with y'all. Wait, Madeline is she's back at it. Don't be blinded by his status or money. Come on. That's right, Madeline. What am I thinking about? I'm supposed to be asking you your final thoughts, sister, because you've been in and on it. Okay. So she said, don't be blinded by his status or money. That's a whole nother podcast.
Yes, indeed.
Woo! Have we all been there? Okay. Blinded by his status or money or lack thereof. It's all that. I'm just saying, been there, done that. Dating for money. They gonna put all the good stuff on when you see them. The third date, they wearing the same outfit, or I'm just saying, they ain't got but 2 pair of good shoes. I'm just saying, they're driving their sister car. I'm just saying, been there, done that. I'm just saying, yeah, that's a whole nother podcast. See, I told y'all, this is the day Pastor Pearl and y'all do this to me every time, Yama. They do exactly what Pearl just did. They give me something that they know I'm going to take, and we'll be on this thing for an hour, and I'm going to have to not curse people out.
Oh my gosh.
I resist the temptation, okay? All right. It's all in fun, y'all. I pray that you had some laughs, and I pray that you had some learning. And as I always say, it's not just with them what's in it for me. It is also whittle. What is it to learn? Okay. Yeah. Learn something on tonight. You can have better relationships and less relation slips, and then you can have a longer, you can have fun dating. You can know that you can go next and next if you need to. You don't have to be locked into anything, and you can stay with a high level of integrity, knowing who you are, whose you are, and what you want. Okay. And there's no turning back on that. And you only get one good shot at it when you get our age. I'm just talking about for the over 50 people. So, we got less in front of us than we do behind us. So we got to kind of really be more strategic, like the character of Jesus. He was a master strategist. And so you can do it. I believe in y'all. Pray that you enjoyed, and we'll see you on next week by God's grace. Okay.
Yeah.
See you later. God bless you. And I love you.
Wow, that was hideous. Oh,
awesome.